Now if we scroll right to the top of the page inside of our index.php file, we start with the opening PHP tag and a closing one. The first thing we're going to do is to create a try catch statement, which will catch PDO exception as E. We won't be displaying any message generated by the exception. We simply put problem with the database. This is obviously for the purpose of this exercise. If you would like to obviously debug this a little bit later on, you can obviously use this E object now and obviously get the relevant message. But for the time being, as we don't really need this information, we're simply going to echo this string here. Okay, we start with the object db equals new PDO, and we go for MySQL colon db name, which will be books. Then we have host equals localhost. Then we go for database username, which is root in my case I'm going to be using, and a password, which in my case is password. Okay, now that we have our PDO object created, now we go for object db exec, and first of all we're going to set character set basically, so set character set, and we want this to be UTF-8. After this we go for the SQL statement, from within which we simply going to get all tables, table names, so show tables. Now we go for the statement equals object db query, and we pass our SQL statement. Then we go for the list statement, fetch all, and a constant PDO fetch a sock. Okay, so now that we have this list, good thing to do would also be to obviously include this list as null by default here. Now if we scroll down to our select tag, and now we check after our first option, opening PHP tag, if is an empty list, and if it isn't empty, we're going to do for each loop list as row, and now we go for option value, and we go for PHP echo row, and the index name is tables in books. I'm going to show you what array looks like in just a second. So we have this value tables in books. Then we close our opening option, we put closing option and tag here, and obviously we need to display the name of the table as well, which is the same index basically, so echo tables in books. So that's everything for the time being. If you now go to our browser, refresh the page, you can see our form is ready. It displays all the books, book names basically, because our database, if we look at the database, we've got a books database, and then we have books and users tables. If we go back to our editor, I'm going to show you actually what this specific statement returns. So what we're going to do is print our array. So if we print it to the browser, save, go back, refresh the page, you can see we've got array, and then the first item in this array is basically tables in books index, and it's table name. Then we have another tables in books, which is users, and depending on how many tables you would have, you obviously have these that many items inside of this array. So that's our books tables now displayed in the drop-down menu. Let's move to the next video when we actually populating columns from within the selected table.